Not gonna lie, I'm half tempted to send nothing but Iron Man people when people ask for help. Like, have all of my Iron Mans.
I sent a lot of Howard the Duck and useful characters. Hi everyone, we're back
Again.
Technical difficulties continue. Hooray! It apparently is my internet, so you know how that goes.
Yes, I do.
All right.
We have 2 Xboxes that suck up every single second of the internet,
Yeah,
which. Ever since they updated that Xbox, by the way, to remove the cap on the bandwidth, like they increased the speed of the bandwidth. Like me and my wife, if we start downloading something at the same time, one of them just goes, all of this is mine.
Yeah.
And the other one crawls.
That's weird. All right. Let's start again in 3, 2, 1. Hi everyone, we're back from technical difficulties because we're recording a podcast on the internet. We were talking about playing Warframe with Musum.
Yes, I believe it was Tuesday he got in touch with me. It couldn't have been Monday because I was out watching fireworks on a lake. Yes. Yay, America. I can't be all happy and joyous because I'm not American, so I have to say it in the most British way possible, which is to be polite.
Yeah. Everybody likes fireworks and hamburgers, though.
Oh, I am going to agree with my wife on this, and I know none of our extended family will see this, so that's fine. Hamburgers should have lettuce. They should have tomatoes. They should not be a piece of meat with buns on either side.
Yeah, I feel like that is... I will agree with you. I like a small amount of toppings on mine. But I feel like that's very much the cookout fare, which is like your options are cheese or without, and there are a lot of buns and there's a lot of meat, there's a little bit of cheese, and like that's what you're gonna deal with. You
just exactly described exactly what we saw.
Yeah,
which was
that's basically
a lot of everything. Apparently the family is also a very much red meat family, so Jess, who can't eat red meat, got a lot of crap for having veggie stuff.
Yeah. Hey man, veggie burgers aren't bad. It's not like they were like 20 years ago where it's like, this is sawdust. Great.
Yep. I like them. I like tofu. I like all of the vegetarian options. But anyway, before we talk about our 4th of July exploits, yes, back to that we go.
Yeah.
Yay, it's my first one. Musum got a hold of me, I think it was Tuesday. I'm assuming he had the day off work with it being a national holiday.
Right.
I was like, so I finally turned on my Xbox and, I decided, I'm loading up Warframe now. I did the tutorial missions. Do you want to play for a little bit? I honestly think we played for like 8 hours straight.
Oh, jeez.
In all honesty, it was, yes, Musum's on. Yes, let's play Warframe.
Don't let him go.
Oh, yes. Also, the fact that Musum is the sage of the Warframe.
Yeah, he knows his stuff.
As I described it to him, him with Warframe is the same as you with Isaac.
Yeah.
He is ridiculous.
He's leading you up the mountain.
He knows all of the things, and I started this game probably about 2-3 years ago when it first came on the Xbox One. It was the first time I gave it a shot. It is still complicated.
Yeah.
It is so much simpler than it was then.
Yeah.
It used to be, you used to have to find duplicates of stuff and fuse them together. Now that whole system's gone, and it's just basically an energy system.
Nice.
Which is so much easier. The missions are a lot clearer. That reminds me, I'm hoping it's still going on. If you're listening to this relatively fast or watching now, Meek, T-Bomb, talking to you two specifically, if you are an Amazon Prime user, they have a Frost Prime for free if you link your Twitch account to your Amazon account and your Twitch account to your Warframe account, which you get just by logging in, and you can literally click on Xbox you can sign in using the Xbox dead easy. So I got my second Warframe for free, and it's really cool. That game is so much fun.
Yeah.
And I forgot how much fun it was, because essentially, if you boil it down to its boilerplate essential details, it is a loot-driven, free-to-play, third-person shooter.
Yep.
If you look at it like that, it's kind of eh. But what you need to look at it is, it's a movement-based melee combat game. Because the guns are fun, the guns are great. There is nothing quite as much fun as basically clearing a half of map in less than a minute, because the movement options in that game are insane. What's the game with the knee slide that everybody loves? You played it, I know
Vanquish.
you did. Yes. Imagine doing that all the time.
Yeah.
With up to 4 friends. Just
It's
knee
crazy.
sliding everywhere. Like, it's so much fun, and I forgot how much fun it is.
Yeah.
And to be honest, I don't mind that it's free to play. I don't mind that they have premium currency. The one downside to it is the weapon slots and the inventory slots are a bit limited if you're a free to play player. But the way that game operates is you have an account level basically, which is based on accumulative levels from other items. So if you level up a Warframe to the max level, which is 30, a gun to 30, and a rifle to 30, you might have enough experience points by doing that to get yourself up to class levels, and it widens your options of things you are available to do.
Oh, okay.
If you run out of space on your account, and let's say there's a sword I just got to level 30, I can get rid of that sword, and it doesn't get rid of that experience points.
Oh, great.
I can remake the sword, but then if I remake it, I'd have to level it up from 0 to 30 again.
Right.
But it classes that as a maxed out sword because I've done it once, so I don't have to do it again.
That's cool.
And considering there are like so many weapons in this, I'm not going to want to go back to that sword. I'm going to go, well, what's this glaive like? Let's find out what the glaive is like instead. Exactly.
Yeah.
So the progression in it can be difficult. I think Musum described it really well. It's got a fantastic start, a really great end game. In the middle is where it gets difficult. Because the problem is right now you've got new starters who go through the great beginning, hit the middle point, and can't play with anyone, can't find anybody, can't do anything like that.
Don't want to grind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they back out. Everybody else who's playing it is max level and doing endgame stuff.
They've been playing for 4 years.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I saw a guy the other day whose class level was 26 or something like that. My class level is 5, and I've probably put about 30 days or something into this game.
Wow.
So that should tell you the difference. Now, granted, I wasn't taking the most opportune route because I was literally doing the same missions over and over again.
Right.
Because I didn't know what to do next. Now I know. I feel like I've progressed more over two sessions I've played with Musum, and I feel like I've progressed so much there. Just having somebody to guide me along, give me that extra little push that now I know what I'm doing. I feel comfortable now being able to say to somebody else, yeah, load it up, I'll help you, we'll go through the start of it, you know.
Right.
This is where you look, that's what you do, this guy's helpful, that guy's not, you know. So I can be the inferior Musum for
The
people
junior
like,
Sherpa.
Yes, I can be the junior Sherpa for people like Meek and like T-Bomb or anybody else from the community who wants to jump in. If you see me on, send me a message. If I'm playing it, feel free to jump in.
Yeah.
You know, I forgot how much fun it is. And it is genuinely fun. And when you learn about the specificities of the movement, it really opens up that game. Like, you can do a vertical jump like 5 or 6 stories straight up.
Jeez.
If you know how.
Yeah.
You know, it's so much fun, and I'm honestly looking forward to playing it some more.
Yeah.
Because it's re-enlightened my appreciation for it. Especially considering they have entirely new sets of stuff in it. Like, all the stuff I had previously is old now. They've essentially introduced a second gen of things, which is the Prime systems. So I have a Warframe. Now that Warframe exists in a Prime format, which is a slightly better version. my favorite thing is you can trade people the blueprints for the prime items for the real life currency value. There is a very much alive and thriving in-game market for the premium currency for prime parts. So if you're willing to not care about something and you get a really good prime piece, you can just go into the trade chat, say willing to sell this. It's going to be, you can Google how much it's worth and say it's going to be this much. I got a helmet last night, I believe, which is the newest prime set, and as you're well aware, new equals more expensive. I sold it for 5. It's worth about 40 platinum. I sold it for 35, which got me 2 additional Warframe slots and 2 additional inventory slots for my weapons.
Oh wow.
So it's not that hard to increase your inventory space, and if you want to throw some money at the game, feel free. Newsom said wait for a sale because you can they do like 75% sales on the platinum.
Jeez.
Exactly. But right now I'm going to operate as I always do with this, which is it is a free-to-play game. Newsom said he's sunk so much money into the PC version, he's going to do the same thing with the Xbox One version.
Right. Because
he has had to start from scratch. So he's operating it as a free-to-play, so am I. So even if you don't want to spend any money on it, jump in, I'll give you the run around, the tutorial, the basics, and then we can just literally go and do some missions. Let's get those dots on those planets from blue to white to signify we've done it.
Right.
Because that's the most important thing, is clearing those dots and filling those bars. And there is a lot of bars to fill in this game.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, never play it, Boston.
I don't. There's no way. Destiny 2's coming out soon, so, you know, gotta play
that too.
Yeah.
Lots more bars to fill there.
Oh, yeah.
But, yeah, that's all I've been playing.
I finally deleted Marvel Avengers Academy this past week.
Yes!
I haven't talked about it for a while. I think I've talked about it in some pre-shows maybe a little bit, but I think the thing that I've been feeling lately, and the feeling that's been kind of growing over time for me, has been that as some free-to-play games do, and Warframe is obviously the exception since we've been talking about it, but Animation Throwdown has been going through this very similar thing, where it feels like the game gets old enough, or the game's population gets small enough, that I started to feel like I was getting punished for not spending money. And I don't have I'm a stay-at-home dad, so I don't have a job that makes me money right now, so I can't spend money on this. Spend $10 a month on Marvel Puzzle Quest, but that's such a value. How could I not?
Yes. And also, your job right now is to wait 18 years until that's your job is 18 years from now. Then you will have a job that gets you money, and it's called your child.
Right. So I felt like Marvel Avengers Academy was, with every event that kept going, I felt like I was being punished for not spending enough money. And how that was manifesting was, for anybody that hasn't played it, basically for every event, you're focusing every week on unlocking a new character. And then once you unlock that character, they have 5 ranks throughout the game, and as you rank them up, they get more rewards for completing missions. And usually the in-game, like the in-event currency, will go towards leveling them up. I found that without spending any money, I could barely unlock all of the characters, but I couldn't level any of them up.
Yeah.
Last event, I couldn't unlock the last character, basically because I hadn't spent any money. And this event was a Spider-Man Homecoming event, and I felt...
Shocker.
Yeah, shocker, as it is with every Marvel game at the moment. I immediately felt pretty punished for not spending any money. Like at the very beginning of the event, it was already. So they do stuff where they'll put out these crates in game, and every time you open the crate, there's like, let's say there's 20 items in the crate. Every time you open the crate, it's 95 shards. They're like, what are those gems? Like infinity gems? They're infinity shards. Yes. So it's all like in universe. Every time you would open up one of those, it's, say, 95 of them. That's $1. Like, 100 shards is $1. Or $2? It's not cheap. So basically, you're opening this box 20 times, so it's essentially $20 to get a bunch of event stuff that will level up your characters and all that stuff. And probably on the second to last or last time you'd open it, you would get a character, usually some version of, or some outfit for Captain America, or an outfit for somebody else. Yeah. And for the last event, there were 3 of those crates. So it's like, and that's not counting generators for in-game, like in-event items and currency. Like, there's all this stuff, and it's, you start doing the math, and it's like, well, if I want everything in this event, could spend upwards to $100. Obviously, I wasn't. I was usually just buying the character, which is about $10. And it's like, well, I'm home all day, so I'm playing the game fairly regularly, and I'm not getting anything. So there's that balance shifted between, it should be in every free-to-play game. Optimally, it should be you put in the time or you put in the money, and you can get mostly everything. There's, of course, some stuff that's like, well, you have to spend money. This is like a premium set of stuff, and I'm okay with that. But
I mean, ideally, that should be cosmetic stuff, but if it's not, I can understand. Like, I can understand, like, Animation Throwdown's a fine example of it. The super epic cards, or whatever they're called. Horseman, who ran the guild for the longest time, he has 0 shards towards that, because in order to earn them, you need to be in the top 8 tiers in the global leaderboard. So you basically need to be top 100 in the world. To get shards to go towards that. Those shards, you need like 1,000 of them. And you get maybe 25 per event. Now, there is events going on all of the time. Literally, the only thing that's different about them is they are slightly higher increased stats versions of the cards you've got. Or guess what? You can pay money and get a big set of them.
Yeah, like you sit there and you start doing that math, and it's like, well, the money isn't worth it, and my time isn't worth it. So, why am I doing this? Like, and you sit back and you're like, I'm not really having any fun anymore, so I have to delete it. Like, that's the only, and that's where I was. I was sort of looking at it, and I was laying there, and I was about to open it, and it's like, I don't know if I want to play this anymore. I've been playing this for now almost 2 years, I think, and now I just, like I said at the beginning, I feel punished for not paying. I think that's the death to any free-to-play game, and more credit to them if they're getting the whales to spend $200-300 per event. There's an event a month. They're making a lot of money then, and Marvel's happy and TinyCo's happy, and they have their new Futurama game that just came out by the same developers, and that is getting kind of crapped on pretty early on, but.
I saw the screen, like, because it's new out, I've seen a lot of adverts for it.
Yeah, me too.
And it's not grabbing me, so I'm not going to install it. I mean, I uninstalled WWE Champions because I found a better Match 3 game. Thank you, community.
Yeah, thank you, Marvel Puzzle Quest.
Yes, I got rid of Golf Clash because as much as I was enjoying it, I was at a point where I'm sitting in the house, and I'm not like you, I don't have a child to take care of, but I'm sitting in the house on my Xbox home screen playing phone games because I'm getting notifications from them.
Right.
So it was just like...
You're like, wait a minute here.
Bye-bye Golf Clash, bye-bye, WWE Champions, bye-bye these other 2 games. I downloaded one I was going to try, and then I thought, no, I've had you for 3 days. are clearly not interested enough to actually launch you the first time. So just
I have Marvel Puzzle Quest. Be gone with you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right now it's Animation Throwdown and Puzzle Quest, and that's it.
So I'm sort of sad that I'm done with Avengers Academy, because I think at its core it's a fun game. You get all this referential stuff, and the writing is really solid and has gotten better over time. The events are pretty clever. It just, I don't even want to say that the developer got greedy, because, you know, who knows who's pushing that. It could even be Marvel, where it's like, you know, if we're going to keep licensing characters this game and it needs to make X amount of money per month or per quarter, who knows? But the feeling,
and especially with stuff like the Homecoming events, then you know that the comic side is going to be taking a cut from there, and then the movie studio is going to take a cut from there, and then Sony's going to be taking a cut from that too.
Right. That pie is getting cut a lot of different ways. So, you know, it is a shame, but I mean, that's the sort of death of a lot of these free to play games. And I've never been a whale. I was a whale for maybe a month during one event in this game, and it's not for me. You know, I'd rather be like a minnow or something. I can spend $10 a month, but, you know, anything beyond, even when I was working, anything beyond that, I start doing the math that I'm sort of famous for, which is like, well, I can spend $50 in this mobile game, or I can buy an entirely new game. So I'll just buy a new game.
That's always been my thing, is like, if you have a free to play game, if the game is good enough, I will be there day one till day end.
Right.
You know, I've got no problem.
Spend a lot of time.
Yeah, I will spend a lot of time doing it. I mean, I think I've been playing Galaxy of Heroes now since it came out, which might be like 5 years now, maybe.
Yeah, it's been a long time, yeah.
I've been playing that for so long. Like, there is people in the TVGP guild over in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes.
Go join.
There's people in that guild who I know have sunk a bunch of money into it, and they're nowhere near where I'm up to.
Yeah.
Because I've been playing it so long. And I've fine-tuned the way I would like to do things to make as much progress as I can.
Right.
And it's something we discussed earlier. It gives me enough premium currency to the point where I'm happy with what I'm doing, because essentially, we've got a relatively active guild in there. We have people in the guild who I know have spent money. You know, us being there is making other people be there, which is making them spend money. So in one aspect of it, it's like, I don't feel bad for not paying any money for you, because I know there's 20 or 30 people in this guild who are only playing because they are part of an active guild.
Right.
That's the guild that I run, so I'm happy not giving you any money. If I have spare money, I might throw some at you just to get a limited edition character or something.
Sure.
But I'm not in a rush to do that, because I know I can unlock it a different way.
Yeah, and that's how it should be.
The hardest one to unlock is Darth Vader.
Yeah, and I mean, that's how it should be. If you want to put in the time, or, you know, spend $10 or spend a couple weeks farming different materials, that should be the choice, and both should be viable optimally.
Yeah. I mean, and even ideally, it should be a case of, yes, the people with the money get to point A tomorrow. The people who don't have the money, it might take a week or 2 weeks or even a month to get to point A.
Right.
But the point is they get to point A, they don't get to point D.
Right.
And then stop. You know, that's the point where a lot of free-to-play games hurt me and make me not want to play them, because I don't have the money to sink it into your game. Yeah. I'm not interested in your game, because it's clear from the way you are talking about things that you are only interested in people who spend money.
Yeah, like you can already see the end of that road, and it's pretty expensive to get down there.
Yeah, it starts paved with gold, and by the time you get there, it's just paved with like cobble and dirt, because they've stripped all the gold off it.
It's just yellow paint.
Mm-hmm.
So another unfortunate event happened this week where my PS4 died.
Yeah.
It's been really, really hot and humid here. So I live in San Diego, which people always laugh when I say I live in the desert. I really do. Like it's you know, it is populous here, and we have settled, but it's still the desert.
Yes.
So it's been around 100 degrees, and usually it's a dry heat because, again, the desert. But it's been really humid lately. So, all the electronics in the house are super angry because we don't have air conditioning, because normally it's 72 degrees and breezy, so you don't need any of that. So my PS4 was getting pretty hot. So I turned it on to rest mode, and I was like, all right, I don't need to keep playing you right now. You can take a little nap, and I will come back to you later. When I came back to it later, it turns on, makes a very loud clicking noise, and turns off. So like Moon said during the Binding of Isaac, he said, did you immediately go to Google? And it's like, yes, I was standing above it with my phone in my hand being like, oh, okay, PS4, loud click, then turns off. And the prognosis seems to be that my power supply is given out. And the easy thing, of course, when a power supply gives out is it's possible that it's too hot. So unplug it, push the power button a couple times to just get rid of any residual power that's going on, and just let it sit for a couple of hours. So I let it sit for like 6 or 7 hours, and plugged the power cable in, pushed the power button, and the exact same thing happened. I was like, well, okay. What are my
PS4 internal power supply?
It is
as well.
Yeah.
Oh.
So, knowing that, I was like, okay, well, what are my options here? You can buy a refurbished power supply for about $80 and put that in your PS4. And I was like, a little pricey. I'm not going to go that route. I bought it on launch, so it's now 2-3 years old, something around that. So the warranty's out.
Yeah.
So you can send it to Sony, and they will refurbish it for $150. And you have it for 10. They have it for like 10 to 15 business days. And I was like, well, that's half the price of a PS4, and I have to have it. They have it for like 3 or 4 weeks. That's not really what I want to do. So I was talking to my wife, and she said, well, why don't we just get you another PS4? Because like you're stuck at home all day, and for half the price we get it refurbished, and it might happen again because it might be the motherboard, or we can just get a new one. So I am forsaking my Christmas and birthday presents this year, and we got me a PS4 Pro.
You did go the Pro route as well.
Yeah, because like it's the thing where a regular one, like a regular PS4 is like $300. PS4 Slim is like it's $300 or like $275 or something, and the Pro is $400. And it comes with a 1 terabyte drive, so I'm doubling my space. It comes with one of the new controllers that communicates over USB. So my wife and I always have problems. We have 2 PS4s. They both use Bluetooth. We always have interference.
I didn't even think about that.
We have separated our PS4s like across the room, and we still have like, I will be playing Destiny with her, and my controller just like dies for half a second. It's just like, oh, I'm back, okay, and then hers does that a little bit later. So like, there's all these benefits, and I think like a lot of people did with the Xbox One S, and they'll be doing with the Xbox One X. I don't have a 4K TV. I don't know if I have HDR. I will be investigating that rather shortly. But I'm investing in the future. I know a lot of people go the other way, where it's, oh, now I have a 4K TV, so now I need to buy the PS4 Pro. But what I like about what both manufacturers' consoles are doing is that you get better performance for 1080p stuff. I have a nice TV. Skype just crashed. All right, everyone. Just... Are you still there?
I'm still here.
Skype just crashed, and I clicked close program, and it didn't, and you're still here.
Okay.
Okay. So we're not even gonna take a break. We're just gonna keep rolling.
Keep rolling. Keep on going.
So the benefits for me are
it's future-proofed and it's backwards-proofed as well.
Yeah, because like now I'm going to get better performance for 1080p games, including like there are pro patches, and there's like a pro mode, turbo mode, whatever they call it.
Boost
mode. Thank you. Where if a game doesn't have a pro patch, you can try turning that on, and that might smooth out the frame rate, give you better visuals, something like that. So I feel like investing the extra $100 for how much I play that console, especially with Destiny 2 coming out, and I really hope Destiny 2 is good. Every time they start talking about it, it's like, well, that's not something I wanted. Okay, cool, Destiny 2.
Yeah.
Okay.
It seems to me like people have taken the getting banned by the first one very harshly, shall we say?
Well,
I know, asking all of the questions directly instead of allowing them to skate around the edges of things, because they didn't say anything about Destiny really until it was out.
Yeah,
it's a multiplayer shoot 'em up game. Now everybody wants to know every little detail.
Is this thing back? So like, some of the stuff is really concerning. Bungie still hasn't learned their lesson. You can't come out and say, "We're gonna do this thing. It'll be cool. See you later," and it's like, no, but I need specific details. So like this week, the last kerfuffle, the big last kerfuffle that happened was before PvP was 6 versus 6, and now it's 4v4.
Yeah, I remember hearing about that.
And they just landed that out there, and they're like, "See you next week." And it's like, I wanted more people, not less people. And when they started talking about it, it's like, well, we're going to have smaller, more competitive maps. Time to kill is increased largely. Damage is decreased largely. So it's going to be more strategic. There's a much better UI at the top, so you can see what classes your enemy team is, what build they're using, if they have a supercharged or not. So, like, when you start talking about it, it's like, oh, okay, all this stuff is better. But
yeah,
those two things need to go together. So the thing that they were talking about earlier this week is locked loadouts. And what this is during some content, we don't know which is kind of the concerning part, when you start the content, like let's say it's a hard mode raid or a nightfall run or something, the loadout you start with is your loadout for the whole run. Like you can't change it.
Okay.
Which at its core is fine. World of Warcraft does that for PvP because you want to go in with a balanced loadout, and if you don't, you're going to get
it's
smacked.
your fault.
Right.
Yeah.
And you don't want to be beating somebody and their loadout changes suddenly, and then there's this, you're just spending the whole match, changing gear. Diablo 3 does that for Greater Rifts, where when you go in, you can't change. Yeah, you can't change it. You blow through it. The boss is a loot pinata, unlike a lot of them. It's especially so. And if you can't complete it, you didn't have the right loadout. So, knock out of there. What's
that? Sorry, you picked lightning effect. All these people are immune to lightning. Good luck.
Exactly.
See you next time.
Yeah, the games typically give you enough information up front to say, here are the things you're going to be encountering. The problem with Bungie is they said, "Oh, well, we're going to have locked loadouts. See you tomorrow." It's just like, yeah, and everybody's knee-jerk reaction is, well, anytime I start any event, I'm not going to be able to change my gear. And it's like, well, I certainly hope not, because that's not really the standard. If I'm doing a hard mode raid, that's different than doing a normal story mission. If I'm doing hardcore PvP, I shouldn't be able to change my loadout, because if you come in with just a shotgun and a sniper, somebody's going to smack you down because you're dumb. You put a bad loadout together. But their messaging, they still haven't learned from Destiny 1. The messaging still matters.
How has every single video game company on the planet not learned this after Microsoft announced the Xbox One?
Yeah.
Their messaging was horrendous. Without a shadow of a doubt, they are behind this console generation because their messaging was garbage.
Yep.
You're talking millions of dollars lost because of it. These companies need to learn to get that messaging straight before they come and open their yap about something.
Well, the thing that's so disappointing is Bungie figured it out during Destiny 1. They had, for big patches and big events, they had a live stream. And they typically would go for like an hour or two, and it would just be the lead developers for this DLC or event or whatever would sit there and play the game. And they would, the
talk
host...
about all the features and stuff like that.
They would show it, and they would play it, and they would show off everything. And they would address... They could predict what the community's concerns were up front and address them. And every time they would do a live stream, it would go perfectly, and it'd be like, great, I feel really great about this stuff. They showed some cool stuff. They left some secrets. It seems like they've just gone backwards again, where I realize they want to keep stuff in Destiny 2 a secret, and I appreciate that because I want to go in and be surprised. Like, don't show me the raid. I want to go into that. I don't like going into them blind, but I want to go watch my favorite Datto, my favorite Destiny streamer, go into it blind, and I will experience it along with him. But there has to be secrets, but fundamental gameplay stuff like this, you need to elaborate a little bit more than like these throwaway sentences. So, I mean, I love Destiny. I'm so excited for Destiny 2. But every time I hear more new stuff, it's just like, yeah, but that's weird. Like, they give...
Spinny circle, spinny circle.
And we should be live again. Holy hell. This time my streaming software crashed. I think it's getting too hot in here, so I open the window.
Deal with the birds.
Yeah, deal with the birds, basically. So, just to wrap up the Destiny 2 stuff. They give you the good with the bad. They say, well, we're removing the grimoire and we're putting lore in the game. And we're making the story better. Great.
Yeah.
Locked loadouts. See you later. It's like, well, okay. So, to recap the whole debacle, PS4 died. I was in the middle of playing 2 games. The first one is...
Oh, there's your problem.
Not
playing
at the same time.
2 games at once on one PS4?
PS4 is not that good. I was playing more Steins Gate 0. I'm about 20 hours through, and I think I'm about halfway through my first ending, basically.
Mm-hmm.
It's really good. I appreciate they've taken the time travel storyline of the first game, and they've manipulated it to be about something related but different in this game, and
they've sidestepped it a little bit. They've sidestepped the narrative onto a different kind of plot line.
Yeah, because at the very core, you're continuing one of the bad endings from the first one, so it's a little bit darker. It's a little bit sadder. It's not as upbeat and crazy as the first one is. Although the first one got sad in some of the endings. But I really appreciate that they've taken a very different approach to this one, and I think they could because they're continuing from this bad ending, so they can sort of play around with the universe a little bit because everything's a little bit different for reasons that I won't really spoil. So it's really great. I didn't. Some of the beginning was a little rough, but I think they redeemed it. I was a little frustrated with some of the stuff I was playing last week. But they've redeemed it pretty quickly, and they really got down to the meat of this game way faster than the first one did, and just kind of ran with it really quickly. So I don't know. I know most average completion times are about 35 hours. And the first playthrough is your longest, because what's great about most modern visual novels is you have a fast forward button, and it only
and they'll skip to the things you haven't heard.
Yeah, it skips into it. Well, in this game, your smartphone is really important, so it'll stop for things you haven't seen, but it'll also stop for when you get an email or a text message or a phone call.
That's kind of cool.
Usually when you get a text message, someone will have something on the screen, or they'll send like 2 or 3 messages, and then you get a choice of 2 or 3 responses. So you can sort of be like, yeah, I can help you now, or it's like, no, I don't have time for you right now, or like, go away, I don't really care. And those in the first game, those were really important. It seems like they're a little less important in this one, but they might not be, and I just don't know yet. So I can't talk too much more about that because it's super spoilery, but...
yeah, heading towards that territory now. It's the Persona problem as well. It's, I played the first 5 hours. After that, I can't mention anything at all.
Well, the problem with Steins Gate Zero is the premise itself is a spoiler for the ending of the first one.
Of the first game,
so, like,
yeah.
I can't even talk about how and why this continues one of the bad endings, because it spoils that ending and the good ending and then the beginning of this game. So, like...
wow.
It's great that we got a sequel, but it's sort of hard to talk about it, because it's like, well, X, Y, and Z happened, and you didn't play the first one, so I just spoiled, like, 40 hours for you. And you should go play the first Steins Gate. So, you know, sort of rough.
So, enjoy that first Steins Gate.
It's so good. And the last game I played is Oxenfree. I'm almost done with my first playthrough. I think we're doing next weekend. I think we're doing our recap episode.
Yes, next Saturday.
But Oxenfree is really great. It's about 6 hours long. Even if you kind of take your time, you know, making sure you talk to everybody and investigating everything in each environment. The thing that struck me this time I was playing Oxenfree, and I'll probably talk about it during the recap episode too, is to me it's the other side of the coin to Life is Strange. Life is Strange is... both games are focused on teenagers that are sort of around other teenagers and having normal experiences in extraordinary circumstances. Yeah. A lot of people understandably have problems with the language that's used in Life is Strange not feeling authentic.
Yeah, I can see where they're coming from, but at the same time, I was a teen once. You didn't hear the way I talked. It was terrible.
Yeah, like, and that's... it's not even just that they use hella, because that's a problem in and of itself, but a lot of people, and again, understandably feel like a lot of the way they speak is weird. And I feel like in Oxenfree, not only because of how smooth the conversation system is, but I feel like if you had those problems in Life is Strange, I think Oxenfree is the other side of the coin where it's more of a spooky game. I don't really want to call it horror because I don't think it's something on like the level of Resident Evil, but
more thriller.
Yeah, more thriller. I feel like, as opposed to it being whatever Life is Strange's story was, supernatural, maybe? Sci-fi?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Sci-fi natural?
Yeah. Oxenfree goes more thriller, and I feel like the way that the characters speak feels more natural, and I think it's the tonic for people that had problems with Life is Strange. And that's sort of why I want to encourage people to at least check it out, is I think as much as I love Life is Strange, it does feel a little bit weird sometimes. I think Oxenfree from start to finish feels very natural.
Yeah.
And I think the dialogue system... the thing that drives me crazy in a lot of video games is when one character interrupts another, and there's this pause.
There's a long pause. Yeah,
the interruption in the next line.
It's my biggest pet peeve.
And
What do you think you're talking about?
Yeah, load.
I was saying this.
Yeah. The thing that Oxenfree does so well is that conversation system interrupts other characters when appropriate, and you can interrupt them, but when interruptions happen and when two people are talking to each other, it feels so natural and it feels so good that it's sort of like, why every video game should do this. Like it feels like a conversation instead of like a stage play. You know, like a high school stage play.
I think it's something that was very difficult to do in video games, because I think I've only ever seen a couple of games pull it off really right.
Yeah.
Dragon Age has never got it right. I haven't played Inquisition, but the first two Dragon Age never got it right. They are really guilty for long conversation, ... interruption, 5 seconds,
Yeah,
later.
Inquisition's not much better. I think that's just a BioWare problem.
Yeah.
I'm
trying to remember. I definitely remember there's been a game I've played recently where if you interrupt somebody, they will literally say to you, "Oh, that's rude," and keep talking. Grand Theft Auto 5 was really good for it.
Yeah.
Like you had interruptions and things, even physical interruptions, like crashing into a car. They would stop what they're saying,
and be like,
tell
hey,
you
man.
off.
Yeah.
And then, as I was saying, and then restart the sentence.
Yeah, keep it on the road. As I was saying. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, Oxenfree is really great, and it's now on PC, Xbox One, PS4, and Android and iOS. So like you have something that can play this. I really encourage it. It's really great. I loved it. My wife and I played it through together the first time, and I regretted some of the choices I accidentally made in the ending. So I'm looking to fix those this time. And I really want to play a silent playthrough, partially because there's a trophy for it, but also because I like the idea of you not saying anything through the game and seeing how the game addresses that. Because it basically, when you're playing it, it's very much like the Telltale style where you have 3 speech bubbles above you. They correspond to the face buttons on the controller. If you don't hit anything, the speech bubbles fade and you don't say anything. And you can go the whole game without saying anything. And that really sounds cool. Fun. But before we have more technical technical difficulties.
Show title.
Let's take a break. We haven't had an episode this rough from a technical standpoint in a really long time.
Yeah, I've not known this to happen in ages and ages and ages.
I bet it's just too hot in here. I bet my computer's just crying, Uncle.
I can understand why, to be honest.
Speaking of that, would you like to just knock into this second segment here?
Yeah, sure.
Let me open up Twitter, because I think we have one tweet for this week.
Yeah. Get in, get out, get it done, get out, go get a nice glass of ice water.
Yeah, exactly. Man, I have a beer downstairs. I should drink that. Okay.
I have my ice pack.
Yeah. Alright, let's start in 3, 2, 1. Let's talk US releases for the week of June 10th, 2017. First and foremost, Final Fantasy XII The Zodiac Age comes out on PS4. I am so excited.
Oh, wow.
The remake of my dreams is merely days away, and I will have a PS4 tomorrow, so I will be able to play it.
What Final Fantasy is this a remake of?
Just 12.
12. Which one? 12? Did I? No, I don't think I played 12.
Okay.
Wait, no. I probably did, to be honest.
Yeah, it was the one with the famously the Gambit system, where you basically had like Excel macros you could make to...
Yes. Yeah. I played it, I bounced off it. That was the last Final Fantasy game I played.
Oh, well, smart. 13 was largely missable. So the Zodiac Age is a remake of Final Fantasy XII International Zodiac Job System that came out in Japan for the PS2. It's basically what Square used to do, which is put out the game in Japan, put out the game in America with some upgrades, and then put it back out for PS2 in Japan, except this time they remade the core of the game, where before, as you probably remember, there was the license board where you're getting license points and you're unlocking stuff like, now I can steal, now I can heal. That's gone. And when you recruit a new character when you start, they pick a job, and that's the job for the entire game. In like 5 years, is this going to be Final Fantasy 14 Zodiac Zone plus 4-job Fiesta? No, because it's not the I know. So here's where it diverges, because that's a pretty common question, is it like Final Fantasy V? And it's not, because you can't mix and match jobs. Once you pick your job, that's your job for the entire game. Unlike 5, where you're learning new ones and you're mixing and matching abilities and you're getting stronger. I never played the International Zodiac Job Edition. So I'm very curious. I love Final Fantasy XII. I think it's a really great and really unique and very fun game once you get past the first couple hours. And I'm really, really curious to play this, and I'm really worried about getting the platinum because it's going to take a really long time.
Welcome to my world.
Yeah, it's... I played for well over 100 hours on the PS2 version and didn't complete everything. And they added more stuff. So...
This just makes me... stuff like that just reminds me of Tidus's 1,000 lightning jumps.
Oh god, I did that on the remake. It's genuinely not as bad as it sounds. It's just really boring.
Yep. Get an audiobook.
Yeah, exactly. Next is Fable Fortune, the PC and Xbox One. Not a game I knew was coming out. This is a Fable collectible card game.
Yep, I knew about it. I don't care about it in the slightest. Nobody's going to care about it because guess what, Fable? You're late to the party again. You shouldn't have been playing D&D on that table, shrinking everybody down and throwing them in because everybody's made a collectible card game.
I can't believe that asynchronous multiplayer Fable game didn't come out. That was so cool, and it was almost done, and it just...
Yeah, it looked amazing.
The problem with Fable Fortune is the Elder Scrolls collectible card game was too late, and that was like 2 years ago. So...
Yeah, you could even say Gwent was too late.
Yeah, Gwent is... I think Gwent is taking the right approach because it's so different, because what they're focusing on, instead of the PvP stuff, which is there, they're putting like a 45-hour single-player campaign in there.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like, well, cool, that's a way to differentiate. Like, that's...
Oh, definitely.
Definitely different.
I don't know, just... Microsoft, learn what to do with your franchises, please. Thank you very much.
Let Fable sleep for a little bit. And then make like a Fable 4 in 3 or 4 years.
Yeah, treat Fable like you treated Crackdown. That's what I want to see.
Yeah, just let it...
Forget it exists for a while.
Don't take a nap like my PS4 did. 'Cause I hate the Fable series, but I would still like to see it come back.
Yeah.
And last but not least, Ed McMillan of Binding of Isaac fame.
I'm sorry, I've never heard of that.
The what game? Is coming out with his new game, The End Is Nigh. This is a really interesting game. He's basically making a really large, sprawling twist on Super Meat Boy.
Wow.
Much slower, and you can't grab onto the walls, but there's these little ledges you jump on. And it's basically, there's a very, very large hub area that you can explore, and then there are strings of levels coming off of that hub area that are all sort of lengthy.
So, is it going to be a bit like... So, it's going to be Symphony of the Night?
I don't think it's a Metroidvania. I get the impression that he didn't want to do that. But
yeah.
I think it's more like an old school platformer where it's like, okay, cool, you cleared World 1, now you unlocked 2, 3, and 4, and they just get harder and harder and harder.
Yeah, he's going to the old Super Mario World trick.
Yeah.
Here's your hub world, go into each individual little dot and get to the end.
Yeah, although it sounds more like the hub is a lot more explorable, which will be interesting to see what that means. I have it pre-ordered because he did a really cool thing where if you have... It was 10% off during the pre-order campaign. If you have the Binding of Isaac, any version of it on Steam, it's another 10% off. So
that's cool.
It was like $10, so why not? So
see, I love stuff like that, and it seems only indie developers can really get away with it.
Yeah.
Where it's, you bought one of my old games, have a discount. Thank you for your loyalty.
And I just did that on PS4 with Don't Starve Together, the Mega Pack. Since I have Don't Starve, instead of it being $20, it was $5. and I got like $30 worth of content out of it. So it's like, great. And the other great thing too is, because Ed got so bitten by mugenics never really happening, that cat DNA game he was working on.
Yeah, I seem to remember it.
He announced the end is nigh a month before it's coming out. So he's like, all right, it's June 11th.
Oh, wow.
This is coming out July 11th. It's done.
Because I know
we're done.
I know me and you were talking about it on Twitter, like when he announced it. I didn't realize it was that kind of thing.
Yep. And I'm impressed because he's saying on Twitter, he's been really adamant. He's like, look, I'm going to work on a game and I'll give you guys teasers and stuff, but I won't announce a game until it's done and it's a month until launch. The only other game they have in the pipeline is The Legend of Bumbo, which is like a shoot-off of the Binding of Isaac Bumbo character, but it's like a turn-based RPG. That's still coming in December. And he said, beyond that, until the game's done, I'm not talking about it. So, that's cool. I like that.
Good on him. To be honest, more games need to do this because I'm getting fed up with this 6-year cycle for game announcements.
Remember us talking about Mass Effect Andromeda, where it's like, okay, you showed it off at E3, and it was a bunch of developers working on concept art. This is ways away.
That was 2 years ago, though, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that was 2 years ago E3, so that was not this E3, but last E3.
Yeah.
Tell me about the new game from the Deus Ex people. Steampunk, or the new game from...
Or how about Final Fantasy Versus 13, that is 15?
Mm-hmm.
It had a 10-year development cycle? Like,
tell me about the game from the Witcher people. Cyberpunk, is it?
Yeah, Cyberpunk 2077, something like that. Yeah.
That what they didn't announce was that's the release date for it.
Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba. Yeah, I feel like with CD Projekt Red, I feel like they took a bit of a gamble and they have a lot of goodwill. But with a lot of other developers, I feel like a lot of that goodwill can go away fairly quickly. Like, do what Bethesda did with Fallout 4, where it's like, here's Fallout 4. By the way, it's out in 4 months. And it's like, cool, great, cool.
Yep.
I like that.
It's announce, buzz, pre-order, out. No, announce, forget, announce, forget,
See
announce,
you at next
forget,
E3.
announce, forget, announce.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to news stories. Sony is shutting down the Tomorrow Children.
I didn't even know this was a game, to be honest.
That was going to be my point, is that unfortunately most people said the who what now. This was Q Games' game that they came out with in October of last year. It was always really weird. It felt very Russian, and basically a whole bunch of people were building up a town and protecting it from giant monsters that sort of sweep in every couple of hours.
Yeah.
But it was always really weird because, like, if you want to go craft something, you have to go wait in line. And, like, if there's 3 people in front of you, you wait in line after those 3 people to do it. And it's just like, that, sure, like, I appreciate that you kind of stuck with that, but...
The Division.
That's weird. Yeah. Yeah. It was a really cool idea, and it had a really interesting art style, and it was a neat game that just seemed like it stuck to his guns too much regarding how much it wanted to be this weird waiting simulator as opposed to being a fun game that wasn't pushing people away.
Yeah. Sounds like they tried to hybridize Minecraft and Dark Souls. You can build stuff, but you just have to wait in line for 4 hours.
Yeah. Super weird. You can import your old Shadow of Mordor Nemesis into the new Shadow of Mordor. Shadow of War?
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, Shadow of War.
It looks like you can take basically your main Nemesis and sort of slurp that out of the first game and plop that into the new one.
Best descriptor ever. Slurp it out.
Yep. That's Kojima's transferring in progress. I think that's pretty cool. I like the idea of you being able to take something from the first game without you bringing your end game character and being super overpowered and making the game boring. And if it's your main nemesis, it's hopefully somebody that's been memorable.
Means something to you.
That dude. Whoa, I'm gonna get him. Who's back again? Yeah.
It's gonna be really great if the first time you run into him in the world, he makes reference to the fact that he is from the previous game.
He's from another place. That'd be really great.
Yeah.
That'd make that game even better. Last news story, Nintendo has confirmed that they're doing away with the concept of you running into a game over in Super Mario Odyssey.
Yeah, I remember hearing about this. It made me sad.
That was my knee-jerk reaction, and then I sort of sat back and thought about it, where it's like, when is the last Mario game where you ran out of lives, other than Mario Maker? Like, if any of the more recent Mario games, if you're anywhere near a competent player, by the time you get to like World 3, you have 250 lives. Like it's a non-factor.
I will argue with you here because I played the entirety of the new Super Mario Brothers. I believe it was the Wii version, 3-player. We were constantly getting game overs. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. I think it's interesting. The rationale behind it is they don't really want to pull people out of the game. And I think a lot of people that maybe didn't grow up like we did with some of the really punishing games or the quarter-munching arcade games, that or people that are maybe picking up games now, especially with how popular the Wii and the Switch are. For a lot of people, that's really a brick wall. Like, it's very much like, this is a game over, you screwed up, you're done. And I can appreciate that. It sort of feels like the end of an era, though, in a weird way.
Yeah, I mean, I can understand where they're coming from. It makes perfect sense because, let's face it, game overs mean nothing these days.
Yeah.
Most things nowadays say you are dead, reload, last save. It doesn't even say game over in Dark Souls, I think. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It makes perfect sense. What this tells me now is I'm officially old. If they're getting rid of game overs, I'm old. Put
the flag in the ground. Moon is officially old. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see. You know, Nintendo has been moving this way for a while, and it definitely makes sense for something as big and as pervasive as a Mario game. So we'll see if that kind of, you know, is that going to expand into Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle? You know, where that's XCOM, where there's a lose condition.
Yeah, I think that with there being a lose state in that, I think they will have to keep it in there. Yeah. Or not game over, but more like mission failed, please retry. Exactly.
Get your fission mailed in there. Alright, let's move to tweets. Adderblack39 writes, Dudes, what's your thoughts on the free games with Gold and PS Plus? Is it worth the money? Also, have you guys kept your 360 and PS3? Okay, we'll take the first one. Thoughts on the free games with Games with Gold and PS Plus? 2 thumbs up. You need to pay that price to play online, so bonus games are really good.
Yes.
I think for me, I always get really disappointed when people, like, let's say Destiny 2 launches in, I think it's September. I always get really disappointed when...
Why isn't it PlayStation Plus though, Boston?
What's up?
It should launch on PlayStation Plus. Well, it shouldn't be released. It should just go straight to PlayStation Plus. You know this.
I don't get disappointed on that because I feel like that's mostly a joke. I feel like the people in November, they're like, hey, by the way, why isn't Destiny 2 on here for free? It's been out for 2 months. It's like, that's if you're gonna have like a AAA game, it's like a year or two old, and if you played it for $60, good for you. If you didn't, you get a cool free game. Like, try some of the indie games that are getting released. Most of them are actually really good. You just have to try a weird looking, like, that was that Stories game that I played that was free on PS Plus, and I was like, I don't know, this looks kind of dumb. and I was like, oh wait, I'm replaying this game to get different endings. This is cool. Like, this is a cool game. I wouldn't have tried it without PS Plus. Like, broaden your horizons a little bit. Try some stuff.
Yeah. I mean, I love games with gold. I download them every single month. I'm not going to say I play every single one of them. I recently / today deleted one of the WWE games off my list because, to be honest, even though it was highly rated, I'm going to wait and see what 17's like, and if 17 doesn't get decent reviews, I'm going to wait and see what 18's like, because it's a yearly cycle for that game. I can wait.
You can wait.
I've got no problem.
Yeah.
But at the same time, Grow Up has just become the Xbox One games with gold. I never got the chance to play Grow Home. I will happily play Grow Up because I didn't play the first one because it wasn't on my platform.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah.
You know, I think EA Access is the same. Yet, you know, you get things a little bit out of date, but at the same time, it's so much additional content for you. If you don't want to play a specific game, don't. Even if you're slightly curious, load it up and see how it feels.
Yeah, I mean, especially, you know, EA Access, Game Pass, you know, some of these games that are on Games with Gold and PS Plus, the only thing you have to lose is a little bit of time. And if you put an hour or two into the game and you don't like it, cool, just get rid of it. Like, it just cost you the subscription cost over the year. You know, you need it to play online anyway, so this is just an added bonus. So. Yeah,
it only costs you the subscription cost and the fees for going over your download limit for the month.
Yeah, I mean that too, yeah. His other question was, also, have you guys kept your 360s and PS3s? I actually, if you're watching the live stream, there's a TV right here. Put my old TV up here. I'm going to connect like my Wii U, PS3, 360, like the previous gen of consoles on there, just to have like, I don't know, I want to play Left 4 Dead 2 a little bit, and something that's not backwards compatible. Asura's Wrath, there we go. You want to play a little bit of Asura's Wrath? Now I've got it hooked up to a TV and everything's good. I don't throw out old consoles. I don't, even if they don't work. Like my Super NES doesn't work, I still have it. I don't want to throw it out. It's my Super NES.
Hopefully I'm back now. I still have my 360. You know, there's only one nomination for show title this week already.
I just put a star next to it.
You honestly think I can see that? I've still got my 360. The big difference for me is my 360 is English. Mine is a PAL 360.
Right.
I don't have my PlayStation 3 because that thing weighed a metric ton. So
I have a launch
I had one
PS3
of the old school fat PlayStation 3s.
Oh, Skype. All right, I gotta pull the plug on this episode. This is just, it's getting worse.
Yeah, I was just about to say he's gonna pull the plug right here, and we'll just move on.
All right, thank you very much, everyone, for writing in. If you'd like to visit us, you can do so at tvgp.tv. Email us tvgpfans@gmail.com. Tweet us at tvgp. Please join the Discord server. It's a lot of fun. We have a Marvel Puzzle Quest channel now. So if you want to
join us, Musum.
Join us, Musum. If you want to get led up the mountain, there are people there that can help you. I will turn it over to you, Moon, to see how much you remember of Knobs' little spiel.
Oh no! Join the forums, mark yourself on the map.
Yep.
Monday night game night, 10 p.m. EST, Xbox One, probably Battlefield 4 if Knobs gets his way.
Probably.
Pro tip: we can play other things too. I believe Tuesday night is PlayStation 4. Wednesday night is PC. Don't know about Thursday.
Usually Steam.
Fridays. Thursday, Wednesday, Steam, whatever.
There's stuff around there.
Yes. And Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Our names are everywhere by this point. Add us, follow us, do whatever you want. Send us a message if we're available. We will probably play. Don't count on Boston, he has a child. Me and Knobs, we have other thing. We have nothing else. Well, I have my wife.
Yeah.
So Join me, my wife, and let's play some Rocket League Chaos. 8 players, man. Let's get an 8-player TVGP Chaos club going.
There you go.
Where we literally just spend the whole time blowing each other up in Rocket League. Or Siege. Also Siege.
And this month's Game Club game is Oxenfree, as we spoke about a little bit ago. I think we have about a week until the recap episode. It's only 6 hours. It's only a couple of bucks on most platforms. It of course went on sale a couple of days after we picked it for our next game. So I don't know what black magic we have going on. But that's our episode this week. Sweet Christmas. We're going to release ourselves from this torture. We'll see you all next week.
See ya. Bye.
Alright, what else do you have?
Is it even worth it? Yeah, it is. Because some of
we have some pretty good ones in here.
The Inferior Museum, Junior Sherpa.
The Inferior Museum. So good.
PS4 loud click then turns off. I couldn't help it.
That's a good one.
Forsaking my birthday and Christmas gifts. My personal third choice after the Inferior Museum, investing in the future. Future-proofed, good luck, see you next time, which is a really good show title for today.
Yeah.
Technical difficulties, technical details. Announce, forget, and join us, Museum.
I have the remake of the original, Stupid Awesome Prey. This is my second runner-up, which is the Junior Sherpa, and obviously today's episode title, Technical Difficulties.
Technical difficulties, yeah.
Jesus. Alright, starting in 3, 2, 1. This is That Video Game Podcast, episode 507 for July 10th, 2017. Technical Difficulties. Oh god, I'm gonna have to figure out how to edit this thing. Alright, thank you very much everyone for watching us live-ish. And if you've been watching now all 3 or 4 parts of this video, thank you for making it this whole way. I'm sorry.
Jesus Christ.
Computers are rough. We'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.